Well, hello my garden friends and welcome back to Crowley House Flower Farm and Nursery. Today we're actually at the Crowley House working, well not really working, but I was working in the greenhouse. And I thought, you know, it's been a while since y'all have taken a look to see the behind the scenes of what goes on here at Crowley House and what is growing in our high tunnel or greenhouse. So this is a greenhouse that actually this year we just reskinned. So that means that we put 2 layers of plastic, brand new plastic, on the outside of the hoop houses or the tunnel. And then we also added in heat. So it's technically called a greenhouse. So I thought I would just take you in there because things are starting to happen. Spring is waking up in there because of course we're forcing nature a little bit in there with the heat and then the greenhouse as well. So things are starting to come to life and it's just kind of fun. So I thought I'd take you for a quick little tour, and I think Riley's gonna join us as well. She's gonna be the camera person for me today. And I just thought, you know, it's beautiful out and the sun is shining. It's nice and warm in there and there's flowers blooming. So what a better opportunity than to take you guys to see that. All right, let's go. First, we're gonna stop at the nursery really quick because we have some beautiful hellebores right now blooming. So these are kind of your more traditional, they're always the first to bloom. So this one is called Lenten Rose Frost Kiss Anna's Red. So these are kind of the ones that you see early bloomers. We also have some other ones. This one's really pretty. Well, there's 2 of them over here. I'll show you. So this one, that's kind of a double. I don't know if you can see that very well. But this is the wedding party series. I have a whole bunch of these we planted up at the Orchard Heights house. But isn't that gorgeous? Oh, love that. And then this one's a white. This one is also in part of the wedding series as well, which this has the tag on it, Flower Girl. I'm not sure if that's correct because that is, unless it changes color, but this is a white and I'm thinking this one here. I'm actually thinking this one is the Wedding Bells white. I think it just got mislabeled because that's pretty dang white and there's no blush in it whatsoever. Anyways, things are starting to wake up here on the farm. It's actually been a really, really warm winter. So it's been kind of fun to see things just kind of come back, and we're going to be cutting things very, very soon. Let's go into the greenhouse and see what's going on in there. Okay, normally we have these open. It is very, very warm in here. Almost don't need a jacket. All right, welcome to the greenhouse. Come on in. It's warm. It's really warm. Okay, I'm gonna first see what the temperature is. For all of you buried in snow, it is almost 80 degrees out. Whew, this feels so good. Okay, so the other day we took out some of this Nephofia, which is fire poker. We have migrating birds that come through and they love this, and it's just they are here for a very brief time, but they were just in a space where they kind of got overgrown, and we do use them as a cut production. So we went ahead and pulled them out, and we are going to be putting them in a row for us just to cut. We also are placing them around a little bit of our dry garden. So these are very, if you're doing water wise, these are great for that. So these are all the clumps that we need to divide. Not only divide these, but also divide our dahlias, which are sitting down here. So these are all of our dahlias still in crates. We do not grow a ton of dahlias here on the farm. These are not all of them by any means. We have a ton more that we order in every single year because we just don't have storage. As you can see, we're running out. So these are just the ones that we like to divide up and then have more of on the farm. And then we always just order in a few extras that we just want to have, like that we just can't do without. Now you can see that we leave all of the soil on still until we start to divide. Every once in a while I'll go through and kind of mist, but you can see them already starting to bud a little bit, which is not what we want. Yeah, we'll go through and start dividing these, but they're nice and firm. We don't have a problem with them freezing in here. Like I said, we leave that soil on just to help keep that moisture in. So up here we have some trays of Ranunculus. No, these are Anemones. We have some Anemones, Ranunculus, and a few other things. So this is our second starting of them. They're gonna go outside for us. Actually, I lie. These are not gonna go outside. These are gonna go into another tunnel that we have all prepped for them. As soon as they are sprouted and ready to go, we'll pop them in there. This is just another planting. We always do several successions. That way we have a long growing season of Ranunculus and Anemones. Keith has been busy in here. These are some strawberries that he planted up. They look pretty good. We just are going through, we're also, our Geraniums, going through and taking any cuttings that might have germinated well for us. Then we're potting them into 4-inch pots. We have kind of a sale that we're doing in Seattle that we have to get ready for. And so we've always brought some Geraniums. And so this is what that is going to be for. We also have a whole bunch more over here. These we're trying to get to the point that they are just lush and beautiful for Mother's Day sale that we're doing. And then also the nursery. Then we have some mountain mint that I've given a couple haircuts to that are growing beautifully. We've got them all up here. Some of them are trying to be overachievers and get really, really big, but they smell. I wish you guys could smell this, because smell this, Riley. Pepperminty. We also have some starts of different things that we've taken cuttings of, as far as this is some boxwood. We also have some, this is bay laurel that I actually did those, and a lot of them took root, which is kind of fun. I want a whole hedge of that. I love using it in mixed bouquets. And then what else do we have? This is just our station. Keith uses this a lot. We've got our bin for soil. We've got our, this is where we kind of do our propagating. We have our little cups for all of our rooting hormones and things like that. So over here we have some things that we've started seed-wise. This is some Amy that Keith has started already. It's kind of more of a winter sown type seed. So he needed some of that early. We're putting it actually in a tunnel. So on this bench, we have some of our sweet peas that we've grown. This is for our sales that we're gonna be having coming up. So a lot of these are just a mix of them, but I know some of them are like more sought after. We have like a cream white mix. We've got King Ransom in here. We've got some, yeah, these are King Ransoms. Some of them are just a mix of different sweet peas. I believe he's got, I forget the other names. Just looks like sweet pea mix. That's what we have. I had a whole bunch of paper whites left over from the holidays, so we went ahead and grew them in bulb crates here in the greenhouse. Riley's got an event this weekend, so she's gonna be coming through and cutting some of these for her event. We have a small little patch of a beautiful little mixture of pansies. Pansies are another flower that we grow alongside our sweet peas, but what happens is our sweet peas are gonna grow really, really tall, and then the pansies tend to stretch long enough to where we can use them in bouquets, more bridal type things. I ended up turning off the fans because I felt like I was yelling at you, and I don't know how that's going to transpire with the audio being on me, so I apologize. Anyways, so the idea is that the sweet peas are going to grow up. They get as tall as this cattle panel here, then that shades the pansies just a little bit, so then the pansies will stretch. Okay, so next we have just a smattering, a little tiny bit of Icelandic poppies that are going really well. And then we go into some ranunculus and then some butterfly ranunculus. And we have already one bloom of butterfly ranunculus. I'm gonna show you that. So I'm gonna show you this beauty because it's one of our first, and it is just an absolute stunner. I am in love. It's hilarious because pretty soon this whole greenhouse is going to be full of blooms, but it's just so exciting to have one bloom. It's like, well, we have other blooms, but just every single bloom is so cherished. So as you can see, our sweet peas are doing amazing. They are already starting to climb the trellis, partly because we're pushing a little bit of heat through this greenhouse, and not a ton because this is a lot of cool weather crops. So the only time we're pushing heat is at night, and we're trying to keep it above 42 degrees. So we have our beautiful heater back there, which back here it doesn't get as much heat, but up there it does. The next row over, we have a whole bunch of ranunculus. This greenhouse is 30 by 100. So it's not quite, I would say, I don't even know how long that is, but not quite 100 feet. So you can tell we had a little bit of a water issue on one side, and then the other side is got more water. So it's doing much better, but we're already getting little tiny buds. Everything is just like ready to rock and roll. We've been having to come in and weed quite a bit, which I just weeded this, but I've got to come back in this next week and start weeding this. On this side, we have a whole bunch of anemones that are blooming. We've already started cutting on these. We've used them in our mixed bouquets. We've got really long stem length this year, which is fantastic. So we've been using them in mixed bouquets and then selling off some, using them in event design work. They are doing really, really good. We already cut through these, so you don't see too many blooms, but there is quite a few bunches I could harvest off this. So here we have one of our, this is a pastel mix series of Ranunculus, and this is something that we held over our own corms for. Some of this whole section right here, I believe, is that. And they are just prolific. They are one of the most, I would say, easiest Ranunculus to grow, at least in my opinion, and get really long stems. Just rock stars of the garden. So this one's gonna bloom. You can see I could pick this one and use it. This one's really, really pretty. It's almost like an antique color when it opens. When you know a Ranunculus is ready to harvest, it's gonna have a mushier, almost like a marshmallow feel to it. Whereas this one here, oh man, that one's still ready too. Let's see if we can find a harder one. This one is really, really firmer and we'd wanna wait on that one. Okay, so these are all mostly panda anemones, and panda anemone, this one's not a great one, but I will cut it just for you. So they're white with a black center. We sell a ton of these beautiful blooms. So this one's very spent, but this whole section is panda. And then we move into probably one of our second biggest sellers is more of the pastels. And that's kind of almost a mix of different hues of kind of like an antique-y, I'd say like purples and kind of mauvey pink, kind of has a red under hue to it, which is really pretty. So we have that one. And then albino is another one that we grow a lot of. And that one is just an all white. So these are all ones that we use a lot in our own floral design. And then we sell off some of them to other florists. As far as Ranunculus goes, usually we're staying within the salmon colors, the peach, the blushes, and a lot of white. So we can never grow enough white, it feels like, but those are kind of the colors we like to grow here. Occasionally we'll throw in some red, and that's usually in the second part of the season because those do really well for us in mixed bouquets that we send off to our grocery stores. That's kind of the Ranunculus anemones. And then our sweet peas, we start these, and we get this question a lot, and I'm gonna do a whole video on sweet peas closer to Valentine's Day when we start our other sweet peas that we're gonna be growing that are gonna be field grown. So these we started back at the end of August, 1st of September, and we get them planted. We obviously have these pretty big trellises, and these sweet peas grow very, very tall and very, very big. So when they're field grown, they don't grow as tall and big. Here they're sheltered. We do have our fans that are on them and things like that, but they're sheltered pretty well. And the blooms are absolutely stunning. And we can ask pristine dollars for them. That's the other thing is sometimes certain flowers, you want to keep your high dollar crops in the greenhouse. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's what we do. Now here, this beautiful crop is a type of snapdragon. So these snapdragons do well in low light, cooler temperatures. And you can tell that we're almost there. This is January, mid-January, and we are already starting to see where they're gonna start sending up buds on them. These we planted back in September, and we have, my favorite colors are the white. So there's a lot of white. Then there's also a lavender one, which I'm blanking on the name of that one, but it's one of my all-time favorites. It's kind of like a light lavender color. Then we have a mix and I believe we have a burgundy in here. They're all labeled. I just don't want to crawl around on the ground for you and tell you exactly which ones. But this crop, this is kind of what we do every year. All of these in the greenhouse are a cut and come again. And what that means is that as you're cutting, you get more and more blooms, and then that offsets the cost of running a heater, having it in a tunnel, and all the care that comes with growing in a greenhouse. Because greenhouse growing is very different than outdoor growing. It is something that you have to watch a lot more for fungus and bugs and, you know, water, all the things that go into growing in a tunnel. It was a huge learning curve for me when I first started. This greenhouse was here at Crowley House when we moved in, and I didn't know what to do with it. My very first crop was this tiny, it was probably about, I would say, the size of this first cattle panel, and I grew sweet peas because sweet peas are one of my all-time favorite flowers to grow. At the end of the season, they had so many bugs. I mean, the aphids were so gross. And we had powdery mildew, like I said, the aphids, and I don't even know what else, but I should have not been a farmer at that point. I think that I probably was like, what the heck am I doing? The rest of this greenhouse was full of tomatoes because the folks that were here prior to us grew market veg for grocery stores, and they just left us with all the tomatoes. And I still occasionally get the random tomato popping up, which is kind of fun little reminder. It's been 15 years, a little over. Anyways, that's kind of what's going on in the greenhouse. Well, some of these Geraniums, let's just take a look at them because they are absolutely stunning. Geraniums and geraniums in general are my favorite, as well as sweet peas and a few other flowers. So look at the leaf on this one. It's like fuzzy, and it has, I believe this one, I'm not really good with all their names unless I smell them. That one smells good. I need to go through and label them. I have photos and labels and everything like that. We're just trying to get more of a professional label to make them look even better. I do know this one, this yellow one, is called Phyllis. And part of the reason I know that is because, one, this beautiful leaf here is just yellow and green, and my mother's name was Phyllis, and my parents' favorite colors combined were yellow and green. I tell you, the Orchard Heights house has a lot of yellow and green and brown. What else do we have? So let's go over to the other little greenhouse, and I'll give you a quick tour of that. You look like you're enjoying the sun.
It is really nice.
Isn't this moss so cool? Only in Oregon could we grow this.
Did you plant it?
No, it just sponges. Yeah, it just happened. It's cool. Okay, come on, let's go. Everybody, this way, this way. I wish I had like a flagpole thing that you're like, la, la, la. We're walking, we're walking. Okay, so we have a fan in here that I cannot shut off, and I apologize. This little greenhouse was put in by my husband, and he did it so that I could house all my grandmother's succulents and tropical trees and things like that. So it needs a little work, which this is Riley's job. Anyways, I do have plans to make something with these lemons. We have some lemons and we have some beautiful oranges that are almost ready. They're nothing like you can get down in California, but it's something. So it's a little tight right now. We keep some of our things that we, like our folding chairs and things like that, in here for the winter. I think, I don't know, this time of year, coming into this greenhouse and starting to work on it, which I haven't done yet this year, just kind of cleaning up and making things look really pretty again is just so good. I did keep some of our bullseye geraniums. They don't look that great. Actually, probably should get them cleaned up and off the ground because I'm seeing slug damage, but they are just blooming their little heads off and so pretty. I love it. What else do we have that's kind of fun? Of the lemon trees, the kumquats. We have some beautiful succulents in here. We do keep some heat going so that we don't lose the succulents, and we just turn it on at night when it gets down below freezing. This guy broke off, but it's already starting to root. Look at that. Massive, massive, but it broke. So
took it out of its roots.
I know, it was just rooting, and so now I'm gonna have to like do something else with it. That's the fun thing about these, is you literally can lay them on top of the soil and they will just make babies. I mean, if you're a new gardener and want to dabble in something that's pretty easy, to grow, then this is it. We do need to get in here and get the soil. We just need to just get in here, Riley. I mean, they're just all really dry. So once we get past this cooler weather and it starts getting warm, then we should probably get in here and start doing something with them. They still look really good. I know, thinking about making a pound cake. Oh, they smell so good.
Mind you, this is the best any of these citrus trees have ever done.
All right, so that's what's going on in this greenhouse. We have one more greenhouse. This isn't as fun as this one, but we'll come visit this one again together and clean it up together and do all the things and maybe make something with our lemons. So out here we have some outdoor sweet peas that we planted a while ago. They're doing good. We have to kind of watch birds and mice. So just putting down slug bait is like key to keep them going. They will self-seed here, and that's kind of what we look for in plants that we put out. These are full of tulips. This is all for birds, keeps the birds away. Okay, this tunnel is where we're headed. Okay, so these beds have not been reworked yet, but there is Scabiosa feverfew. These are more tulips that we've got going. This is a bed that I'm gonna pull out of foxglove. See, there's Scabiosa, more scoop Scabiosa. And then this tunnel, I will show you really quick, is open on both ends. So you saw a couple crates full of anemones and ranunculus that we were starting. Those are going into these two beds. This bed was overwintered this last year, and these are some of the anemones that are coming up. We just kind of left them because we didn't really have anything else to put in here. And so these are just a smattering of colors of blue, red, more things that we would use for like our mixed bouquets that we send to grocery stores. They tend to like the lighter or brighter colors, and the more high-end dollar colors or the things that we really, you know, use a lot of, that goes on the big tunnel. But over here, this is where everything is going to be planted. We have some ranunculus that wouldn't fit into the big tunnel. We just started planting them in here. We had 27 degrees last night and they're doing great. So just enough shelter over them, which is really nice for those crops that like it a little bit cool, but we want to keep rain or hail or things like that off. So a lot of times down the center here, during the wintertime, we'll put in like a lawnmower or something like that. It's nothing fancy, but we also in the summertime will grow in bulb crates, and generally we'll put them right down the center here, and then we'll either lay in drip line or something like that to keep them watered. Things like lilies or things like that we would put in. But that's kind of the use of space that we use this tunnel for. Anyways, well, I hope you enjoyed that short little tour of the farm in winter and everything that's going on here. We have more that's in the ground that I didn't show you, but I will show you that maybe in another video. So I hope this brings you joy on this beautiful sunny day, and I hope that you are making fantastic plans for the year of 2026. And I hope this kind of gets you inspired to get out and seed something, do something for the spring. Before you know it's gonna be here. All right, until next time, much success in all you do and grow. We'll be seeing you shortly back here at Crowley House or Orchard Heights House. I'm not sure which, very, very soon. Okay, take care, bye-bye.